A full bag mid handicap fitting at Ping. Let's do it, and let's do it now.
We do them in a standard sole, a wide sole and an ES sole. Your ball speed's gone up, your efficiency's gone up.
Hi everyone, James Robinson here. If you're new to the channel and this is your very first time watching my content, first of all, welcome to the channel. And second of all, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave. In this video, we are looking at this golf bag. This isn't my golf bag, this is Mark's golf bag, our mid handicap tester. And today we're at Ping's European Fitting Centre at Gainsborough, and Mark is going to get fit for a full Ping bag. I've left them in there having a warm up and they're already going through a few vital questions that should be asked before a fitting session. So already in there, Mark's working with Mike, who's going to do the fitting for him today, and he's been asking him every question under the sun about these things here. Not only the loft and lie, but the shaft specs, the head specs, how long have you had them, were they fit before, where were they fit before, and what you're looking to gain from a brand new set of clubs. Now without any further ado, let's get in there, let's see how Mark's getting on with his warm-up without his clubs, because we've got them, and we'll take it from there. Grab your set, mate. Just get a few shots just to loosen up it. I've got your clubs back, Mark.
Thank you. What have you done with them?
Scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you today?
15.
This is all Mark spoke about for the last 3 weeks.
I'm very excited about this.
Everybody remembers Mike?
How are we doing?
Very good, very good. Oh, what a swing that was.
Almost over the fence.
Which side?
So guys, just before we get started, Mark's had a very good warm-up. Absolutely ripped it, called every shot. Mike, so while I was out there filming the introduction, you were kind of probing Mark a little bit on what's in the bag and a few questions about that. What kind of thing would you ask people when coming for a fitting?
So first and foremost, I like to have a look at what Mark's currently using, what a player's currently using. It's important to find out a little bit about their likes, their dislikes, what works well, what doesn't work well, what their goal of the session is. It's very important that we match that. Some people will come in and just want to focus on distance.
Yeah.
Some will come in and want to focus on dispersion. Dispersion is always the winner for me. That's what I like to fit to, because, and luckily that's what Mark came across and said.
Mark just wants to hit the blueprint irons again.
And we will try the blueprint irons.
Yeah.
You know, we're here. We don't, although they are designed for the elite player, that doesn't mean that only elite players can use them. And that's really important in our entire product mix, is that sometimes we don't categorise players into certain models. Okay
guys, so Mark's had a good warm up there. Now we're going to go, are we starting irons?
Yeah, starting with irons. Start with irons.
So we're going to start with irons, then work our way throughout the bag, and we're going to see exactly which Ping clubs our mid handicap tester should be using.
The beauty with TrackMan is it gives us all this weird and wonderful information. These are your averages along the bottom of the shots that you've hit. We've got your dispersion on the right. So very briefly, clubhead speed is around 84 miles per hour on average. You're just warming up, so we might see a little increase in that the looser you become. 84 miles per hour categorises you really, if you were looking in black and white, you'd probably say a stiff steel would be where we'd be looking. You're currently using regular.
Yeah.
Interestingly though, in your woods you are using stiff, so probably we'll look at that stiff flex in the steel for you. So let's have a quick look at the strike location. Where do you think you hit it out of the golf club? Do you know?
No.
No idea?
Well, I would have thought it was probably shaft hosel side of centre.
Okay, yeah.
I called it.
You called it. Okay, so you can see there, the good thing with this is, although it's heel side, the good thing is it's consistently from the same spot. You can see how the middle is quite red. You're not spraying it all over the face, which is something that would be of concern. Interesting stuff. So I think what we'll do is we'll get you set up in the i210, modern day equivalent of your i20s. Okay. We'll move across into our AWT stiff, because that is the modern day equivalent of the CFS shaft that you've got here. But I'm going to move into the stiff rather than the regular, based around the characteristics that we're seeing and the feedback that you've given me so far. I will set you up in the blue line up, because that's where you measure on the color code chart.
Okay.
We started off with your own club, which is everything in white.
Yeah.
We then moved across to the I210, which is everything in yellow. Because no two shots are the same, I like to do the averages between the two, so you can almost do a direct comparison. Some interesting stats. You're swinging it slower.
Yeah.
Now, 1 mile per hour isn't a huge amount, but you instantly, because it's a stiffer shaft, it's a little bit heavy. You felt it was a little bit heavy.
It's the weight, isn't it? Yeah.
It is the weight, so that could be what's causing you to slow down, or it could be the fact that it's something new in your hand and you're not quite as confident with it, you're not going after it as much.
Okay.
Interestingly though, even though you're swinging it 1 mile per hour slower, look at your ball speed increase.
Yes.
Ball speed increase is increased by 3 miles per hour. Which means your efficiency rating, if you like, your smash factor, now 1.37, which is a great return. Your launch is very similar, half a degree within, but because that ball speed number's gone up so much, it's then had a big influence on your carry distance as a whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's carrying the same as my total, isn't it?
It's carrying the same as your total with your own irons.
It's further than my 7-iron goes. Who's Mid Handicap here?
It's because you're short. That one makes it.
So that's the end of the fitting. Come on, taking you out.
And he's walking out. As you addressed it, this one's is 1 degree more upright than your current clubs.
Yeah.
It's addressed, did it look like the toe was sticking up a little bit off the ground, or did you not notice that?
I didn't notice that particularly.
Okay,
no,
okay.
No,
because one of the bad shot, if you like, with the I210 that you just hit was you were losing a little bit left.
Yeah.
Now that is heavily driven by swing performance,
yeah.
But then it also is the fact that the more upright the golf club goes, the more effect it has on what we call swing plane tilt, which then causes the golf ball to go a little bit further left.
Yeah.
So what I want to do next, and first and foremost, is put that into a slightly flatter line.
Yeah.
So guys, just while Mark and Mike are sorting out the lie angle on the I210 iron, I want you to hit those comments below. Who's been for a club fitting? Have you been for an iron fitting? Have you been for a driver fitting? Wedge fitting? Putter fitting? Let me know, and if you haven't done, why not? Would you consider going for one when you buy new golf clubs? Or if you buy new golf clubs?
Okay, so the ones we've just hit there, you can see with your dispersion, we've narrowed it.
Yeah.
So you're finding the target more often, which is really what the goal of the session today was, to improve your dispersion. So going that slightly flatter lie angle has helped with your performance and your alignment.
Sure.
So we're going to stick with that black lie angle to start with. What we're going to explore now is different shaft weights. We've got the ability to go lighter or heavier.
Yeah.
But initially I'm going to go a little bit heavier for you and see how you find that.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
And goals for this year?
Well,
I presume the goal is to get down to single figures.
The goal is to go to single figures.
100,000 subscribers.
For him personally?
Yeah.
Barry and James Robinson golf.
Yeah.
A little bit slappy. What are you kind of feeling with the weight of this?
It just felt so heavy that my hands and wrists were just trying to control it excessively.
My feeling, based on dispersion as well, is that was almost a bit too heavy.
Yes.
That's how I felt.
I think.
Looking at the numbers and looking at the data.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, it might only be 4 or 5 shots and you're starting to feel, God, this is hard work.
Yeah.
Imagine what it's like when you've had 63 shots and you're hitting your 63rd into the 18th green.
Yes.
Why did you start them about 9?
I was trying to build you up there and you shot me right down, hasn't he?
I know. That's the relationship.
So let's go for something in between the two. Let's go for something a bit lighter than the KBS and a bit heavier than the AWT there as well. The Nippon Modus 105 in the stiff. It's a shaft that actually Miguel Angel Jimenez is using at the minute. So tall quality.
Age profile similar as well.
That's it. So let's have a look at your stats. First thing I noticed straight away is your dispersion. The tightest you're now in the blue.
Tighter,
so much tighter with your dispersion, both from a left to right perspective, but also from a front to back perspective.
Yes.
We talked about in the previous model, we didn't want a golf ball going too long one shot and too short on the other, so very, very consistent. You're not having to work any harder.
No.
83.5 is where we kind of find ourselves at. Ball speed though, right up there at 113.5. pretty efficient, reasonable spin numbers as well. Carry 159, total 167, which is nice. So when that golf ball's landing, it's also stopping pretty quickly as well. For me, overall, the performance of this outweighs all the others, both from a performance perspective, but also from a feedback perspective from you as well. Because your feeling of it was that it
was great. Yeah,
really liked it.
I really liked it. Yeah, really good.
Good stuff. Okay. What I want to try though with you is I want to try a different model.
Okay.
I want to get you a different feeling. I want to see how you see how you find that.
Okay.
Don't think you want to try i500, do you?
No.
So we'll start.
We all know what he wants to try.
I don't want the i500. No. No, not if I'm hitting my 7-iron that far.
Yeah, you don't need it. No. And that's a really important point that you make there. It's not all about distance. Too many people come in and say, I want to hit it this much further, I want to hit it that much further. You're hitting your 7-iron 160 yards. That's great.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Really good, really strong. Yeah. So distance isn't your concern. Your concern is always about accuracy and dispersion.
I like striking it, but again, it's that
there's no denying when it's good. When you hit a good shot, it's a good shot.
It's a good shot.
It's how bad are the bad shots.
Yes.
And you can see here, if I take away the other,
the orange circle.
It's the orange circle now. So you can see when it's straight, it's performing. It's not as far as your previous iron. No. But what you're finding is quite a few shots going left and the odd shot going a little bit right as well. So from a consistency point of view, you're going to be much better off. In comparison to the i210,
there isn't a comparison.
There isn't a comparison. What about this one?
Can we all just have a moment?
It's like love at first sight, isn't it?
You're going to have to hit it now, though. Pressure's on.
I'll see if I've got it in a 3-iron for him.
Well, hitting is not a problem.
Let me get the 3-iron. When you hit a good shot, you find the middle of the club face, it comes out nicely, you put a good swing on it, it performs well. It's looking at that, how bad is it when it's not out the middle of the, when it's not the perfect swing, how bad is that? And I'm not saying it's bad, but again, you can see it here in green now with the blueprint. Ball speed's dropped a little bit, a couple of miles per hour. It's not disastrous, because your distance is still 155. Some of that distance will come from low spin numbers and the fact that you've pulled a little bit left. Your good ones, your straight ones if you like, you can see them here, are still quite a bit considerably shorter than your good ones with your i210.
Yes,
Still accurate.
Well,
at least it's
tried it at least.
Exactly. At least it's been proved.
I tell you, I've worked with quite a lot of people who have tested it. That's some of the best results, or better results we've seen with Blueprint.
Underline that.
So, Mid Handicap Ping irons. What have we concluded?
Well, we've concluded that i210 is the better option for him. In the Modus 105, but moving from a regular flex into a stiff flex. Despite statically moving it, fitting into a blue lie angle, we've ended up going 1 degree flatter than that into a black, which matches what your current set is, and that gave us the best and most improved dispersion. That Modus 105 has worked really well. You haven't had to work any harder, but as a result, your dispersion, even with your bad shots, which includes everything, is still accurate and still within the target. You're not going to have many chips and putts from there. Other models did give up a good fight. The iblade in particular was pretty good, and when you hit a good shot with both the iblade and the Blueprint, it challenged the i210, but it was how much improvement did we get from those off-center struck shots in i210 versus iblade, and particularly versus Blueprint. You hit Blueprint nice. There was no issue with Blueprint. It was just when it was bad, it was perhaps a lost ball. And that's what you've got to consider. So that's where we finished. i210, Modus 105, black line.
Yeah, good.
Next, let's finish the wedges off.
Yeah.
Let's get the wedges off.
I've got the Titleist SM6 wedges, 60, 56 and 50.
Okay.
S grind, F grind and K grind.
Okay.
It's all technical stuff that I have no idea what it really means.
Okay.
We can all relate to that.
Which one do you like the best? Which one is your go-to?
I mean, if I'm 5 to 10 yards off the green, it'll always be the lob wedge.
Okay.
Any further than that, and it's the 56.
And you mentioned before you hardly ever use the 50.
It's not. I don't often use it. I mean, it sits in the gap between my pitching wedge and the 56.
Yeah.
And that's why it's in the bag. It goes. Well, it was measured at 110, 115.
Yeah.
That's what I was measured at.
Okay.
But I tend to use it for sort of 100 yard,
Right. Okay.
100 to 110 yard shots, which I don't get very many.
Okay.
Plenty to go at.
Yeah, there is. 3 different wedge types. We do the glide forged, which is available in 1 bounce, but in lofts from 50, sorry, all the way up to 60. We do the glide 2.0 in the platinum finish. We do these in 4 different sole widths, and then we do the glide 2.0 stealth as well, which is exactly the same as the platinum, just in a darker finish.
Yeah,
so the appearance makes it look a little bit smaller. So I think in the wedges what we'd do is we'd put in a 52, a 56 and a 60.
Yeah.
You're so familiar with the 56 and 60 that you're happy with, you know the distances they go. The 50 though you found was probably going a little too far, so by adding an extra couple of degrees to make it 52 with a little less bounce on there as well will just help flight that golf ball and hit that yardage, because your 52 was going what, 102, 103 yards at full pelt. So that's a more consistent 100-yard shot.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, very much so, very much.
And you prefer the stealth compared to the platinum?
Yes, I do. I do. Yeah, that hits much better in a wedge colour for me.
Less glare.
Yes.
So guys, one thing that I found really interesting there with the wedge fitting in particular, and you might notice I haven't done much in this video, but I feel like I'm learning myself. So there, we've looked at numbers, we've looked at gapping, but then also we looked at what Mark likes to do around the greens, what he likes to play out of bunkers, because that is equally as important, if not maybe more important than the gapping, because that's where you save your shots and that's where you make your score. Now I think we're going to move to the top end of the bag, the driver.
How long you had that driver for?
3 months.
Yeah.
When did it come out?
June,
when was the embargo?
Okay, so you can see on average everything's just a little bit left of target.
Yeah.
Spin numbers are pretty high, just around 4,000 RPM. That's okay. Carry 197, total 208. That is a number that disturbs me, if you like. 19, 20 degrees of launch is really, really high. So we want to see if we can launch that down, see if we can improve the centerness of strike as well. So I've set you up at G410, 9 degree, set at 9 degree. I've put the weight into just a neutral position starting first of all, and I've just put in our Alta stiff standard shaft. I wanted to measure the length of your driver to see how that compared. Yes, this is the G410. It was about 1/4 of an inch longer, half an inch longer.
Yeah.
And again, we'll look at the length of the driver shaft, because essentially the longer the shaft is, the harder it is to control and get it back to a centrally struck shot. You hit one that was really good.
Yeah.
All the numbers were spot on, and it was up there at, let me find it. Swung it pretty similar, ball speed increased massively, smash factor was up, launch was under 15, spin rate was 2.5, carry 220, total 243, which was a nice kind of result.
More kind of your numbers there, aren't they?
Yeah, much better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the same shaft, but I'm going to go a little bit shorter. Okay, so this one's currently 45.75 inches. And it's going to nip it down by 3/4 of an inch to 45, just to see if that gives you a little bit more control. Okay, because you talk about being able to hit your 3-wood well, and then the longer the club gets, the harder it is. So perhaps by going a little bit shorter.
A lot of tour players go shorter as well, don't they?
They do. Tour average is around 45.1 inches, I think, is the tour average. It's more to focus on centerness of strike. Yeah, nice shot.
Oh, nice, man.
There you go. You can see it. The centerness of strike and the quality of strike is so much better with a 45-inch golf shot, golf club than anything else. So since going shorter, you can see your performance has improved. You're not swinging it any faster. If anything, you've slowed down, but that was a conscious decision by you rather than anything the club's doing. That's you that's decided to do that. But even though you're swinging 3, your ball speed's gone up, your efficiency's gone up, your launch has come down, because we've homed you in a little bit for your centerness of strike. Your spin rate is now at a much more manageable spin at 2,500 RPM, which is great compared to what, 4,000 or 4,000 RPM in your own and what we were testing to start with. And as a result, not only is your carry increased, but your total distance, look, because it's not coming down from such a ridiculous max height, it's now landing and rolling out to that, on average, 230 yards. If you take the last one, which you've just hit really well, you've carried it 217 and got it out there at a total of 240 yards. 5-wood.
That's the 5-wood. Okay.
We're going to use that as a starting point. So it's a high lofted 5-wood.
It's the same loft as that.
Yeah, but the larger head will give you a bit more forgiveness, probably help with launching it as well. So your off-centre stroke shots will probably go a lot better as well. 3-wood hybrid, or whether we go 3-wood, 5-wood, they're the two combinations, because we need the 14 clubs to maximise. Sharp.
Sounded good, Mark. Have you hit many 5-woods before, Mark, out of interest?
No, I had a 5-wood in my very first set.
Yeah.
It was a bag and drops.
Yeah. Was it called a mashie?
Sharp. Super sharp.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. Because we've worked on the driver and we've got the shaft, we know the shaft's good.
Yes.
We'd want that continuity in the driver and the fairways. We can hit a hybrid for testing, but
I don't think he needs to.
Doesn't need to.
I wouldn't be interested.
No. Numbers are really good.
Just the way that's gone.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
Should we put it in a 3-wood?
Go on.
Right, so let's just take your averages of your own 3-wood. 225 on average, your 3-wood was going.
225, right.
Yeah. Okay, testing done.
Okay.
5-wood, absolute no-brainer.
Yeah, definitely.
Really happy with that?
Yes.
5-wood goes straight into the bag. 3-wood, I think you hit yours pretty...
Yes, I like it. I get on well with it.
Yeah.
We have a good relationship.
That's it. And if the club ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
You're really confident with it, you play well with it, so we'll leave that one alone. But I think the 5-wood in replace of a hybrid and to support that long iron in your driver is a real good addition to the bag.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
definitely.
Perfect.
So I just go and test putters and see how they go.
And then purely, what makes you decide on? What made you decide that was the putter for you?
This one, it was the consistency. You know, I was hitting it at the hole, you know, getting the length and the distance right. It just felt nice and comfortable in hand. Okay. Really liked this one.
The common theme is people don't get fit for putters.
No.
And it's the worst decision because it's the club that you use more than anything else out in the golf bag.
Yes.
It's the one that's going to save you the most amount of shots. One, and most importantly, is the design.
Yes.
Okay. Then you've got to look at alignment features.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So is it that you like an alignment aid that goes directly to the front of the face? Me personally, I put a big line on my golf ball So I line the line up with my golf ball to where I want to hit it, and then I have a line directly to the front of the putter face, and then I just hit it through the line.
I like the look of the more sort of blade type putters. I don't have a problem with the full mallet, just from a visual perspective. I really don't get on
with the mid mallet.
It just doesn't suit.
That's fine, and that's great.
At all.
And we know we can eradicate any mid mallet into this conversation. Right, sorry, before you hit one more, let me just pop this onto the shaft of the putter.
No.
What it is clever enough to do is work out whether the face is open, closed, compared to impact. It'll work out your arc type, how much rotation you have in your putting stroke. It will give us all kinds of weird and wonderful information. Shackling. So that's how you set up, and that was how you set up to every putt that you hit during those 5.
Wow.
Okay, and then what you try to do is then try to push it back out, which is when the face is way open. So first things first, it gives us this circle here, and this is almost your consistency circle, if you like. It's green, amber, or red. If it's green, it means you're very consistent. If it's amber, that means there's elements of consistency but some inconsistencies. And if it's red, it means you need to work hard on your putting game. Yours is amber, handicap of 14, so it's saying you're putting the equivalent of someone who plays off a 14.
And what's your handicap, Mark?
13.
Okay. So it's basically saying, based on the basics of your putting stroke, something with a bit more arc hang would be better suited. Something a little bit flatter, so orange, which is 2 degrees flatter than our standard, so 22 degrees from there, or you can have a look from vertical, which would be a 68-degree line angle. And I think it would be really interesting now to go, okay, let's look at a model with a little bit more forgiveness, with greater alignment aids, to see if that A, helps you from a setup point of view, and secondly helps you from a consistency point of view. And if we can address the two, that alignment's so much better. Oh, it took it just there. Okay, so first things first, you see a green circle, which is a result, because it means you're much more consistent from a stroke point of view. Your handicap drop. So from a consistency point of view, it's now saying you're putting the equivalent of someone who plays off a 2 handicap.
Okay.
So anybody who wants to be my new mid handicap tester, send your CVs to...
Okay. More consistent with the closing angle. You see how it's got a green box around it?
Yes.
Still right on the border, but strong arc, so a bit more rotation in the stroke. Your setup position was much more consistent, hence why it's in a green box, but still it would recommend going maybe 1 or 2 degrees flat. Okay, so still that toes up a little bit. And then shaft lean, very consistent as well, but interestingly, we saw how far your hands were forward with your own putter. With the mallet, your hands, if anything, are just a little bit back. So you're actually adding 0.6 of a degree of loft. At that point, we'd leave you at 3 degrees and keep it like that. Probably just the way the head rotates and the fact that it's a bigger body and a little bit heavier in there as well. And you should see the consistency of your putting stroke out on the golf course as well improve as well.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Good stuff.
Jolly good. So 18 putts next time out.
So Mark, full ping bag fit. What do you think?
I'm exhausted, but that was really good. Really good. Yeah. Pleased with everything that was done. Driver. It's always disappointing with me and the driver, I know.
I think anytime you're looking at your numbers, it's humbling for anyone. The big thing for me was the irons change. And obviously putter. So
the irons and the putter, which were the 2 key things I was interested in. Fabulous.
Fantastic.
Really like those.
Thank you so much, Mark, for your time.
Thank you. Cheers, James.
So guys, thank you so much for watching that. I do hope you've enjoyed that. That was a full ping bag fitting with our mid handicap tester, not mid handicap tester, mid handicap person, Mark. So thank you very much for that. If you are new to the channel and you haven't already, make sure you do hit that subscribe button below. Make sure you leave a like and comment below. Have you ever been for a club fitting? And if not, why not? Guys, see you tomorrow.